Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you've had an absolutely amazing weekend. It is a beautiful day, and I'm so grateful to have one of our virtual summit presenters, Diana Eskander, join me here this morning. I met Diana about a year ago. I'm not really sure how we connect, Diana. Someone connected us, third party-ish, and they said, Diana's incredible. She's amazing. Your brand talks about relationships. It talks about family, and Diana's like on point with this stuff. And I had you on, I interviewed you, and it was one of the most commented podcasts I had done up to that point, and still up to this point. And so you really resonated with my audience. I mean, you talked about the heart, you talked about relationships, you talked about connection. So when we talked about launching and doing our first virtual summit, I said, I got to reach out to Diana, and I hope, because you bring so much incredible value and knowledge, that if you would join us, and you humbly accepted. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So Saturday for the virtual summit, Diana will be presenting, and so for those of you who are unfamiliar with Diana, I wanted to bring her on and share a little bit about what she's going to be speaking about, because I really think it's something you're going to want to learn, as it can improve your most important relationships, your most important intimate relationships. Diana has it dialed in. So Diana, thank you again. Welcome. And how you doing?
I'm doing well. We also have a lot of sunshine here too. It's freezing cold. I'm in Montreal, Canada. It's absolutely freezing, but we're staying cozy inside, so all is well.
Wonderful. Well, we share that. It's cold, and but hey, it's January. So no better way than to expand our minds, hang out with people who can expand our consciousness. And so, you are definitely part of that. So why don't you share with TriplePLife and Triple P Nation a little bit about what you're going to discuss on Saturday?
Yes, sure. So for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with what I do, I'm an expert love coach. So, I like matters of the heart and speaking courageously from the heart are it's such an important skill, and it's something that we aren't really taught. But let's be honest, connecting with our emotions is such a key part of our lives, right? So while this is really going to be focused on your intimate romantic relationships, ultimately courageous communication, which is really where I'm going to be focused on in Saturday's summit, can help you in absolutely any relationship. When we talk about romantic relationships, we think a lot about, okay, we need to be intellectually compatible. I want to be physically attracted to this person, maybe even have a spiritual connection. The part that I've seen that absolutely makes people, quote unquote, fall in love, not my favorite way of putting it, but we all can relate to what that means, is really when we connect from our hearts, when we connect from our emotional space. And you can't do that without communicating what's true to you, right? Whether that's talking about, what's inspiring you in life, what's making you nervous, what's making you sad, what's making you frustrated, or actually telling that person how you feel about them. Or maybe even talking about something that's a little more challenging, something that has been on your mind, been on your heart, that's creating a little bit of upset for you. How do you communicate that in a way that actually brings you closer rather than pull you apart? And whether you're in the beginning stages of a relationship or you're years down the line, these are the conversations that either create that real true intimacy, that true intimate connection, or chip away at the connection. The energy you bring to the conversation, the words that you use. And a big part of that, and I'll definitely be speaking to this on Saturday, a big part of that is your emotional awareness and your emotional intelligence, right? Like, can you even hold your own emotions? Are you even aware what's at the true core of what it is you want to communicate to someone, right? So we often think, okay, there's this thing that you said and it really upsets me, for example. But why did it upset you? Can you peel some of those layers back, maybe even first on your own, so that you can actually have a true conversation with someone rather than wanting them to hold it all for you. And please take this burden off of my heart and put it onto yours. Hopefully this is resonating with whoever's watching. So it's like helping you move through the situations that trigger you. I'm going to give you a framework that actually helps you peel back those layers for yourself to get to what is the true thing I want to say here. So this situation might have bothered me, but what about it really bothered me? What stories do I have going on about this, right? And then what are the words that I'm going to use to actually communicate this to someone I care about in a way that helps me understand them better and maybe creates more love. So that's kind of a high level overview.
It is, and there's so much there. So the question I have for you, I have many of them, but I know you'll answer many of them Saturday. But the first question that comes to mind is it true? Is it possible to be authentic in a relationship if you're not in tune with your own emotions, if you're not emotionally aware? In other words, I always told my kids, learn who you are first before you bring yourself to a relationship, rather than someone trying to fill a gap that you haven't filled yet. You're on your own.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's accurate?
Yes. The only word I would shift in there, or maybe even like remove, is first, right? So yes, okay, you know, your kids, as they're maybe in that case at a certain age, it is first, right? Because it is like paving the way for a relationship, but it's really always, right? It's really always, even when you're in a relationship, spending time to understand how you feel and be honest with yourself about how you feel is the only way to really be authentic in a connection, especially because then you aren't with that person simply to fill this void or trying to escape from feeling something, right? So you're kind of filling your time with someone else. When you can really sit with the trueness of everything you experience in your emotional landscape, good and bad, then you can honestly say, I'm capable of holding this. I'm capable of doing this on my own, but I want to do it with you. Also, how can you really share with someone what's going on with you when you don't really take the time to reflect on it for yourself? Does that make sense?
Makes a ton of sense. Yeah, absolutely. Boy, I tell you, they're going to get an awful lot of incredible information on Saturday. And, you know, I don't know any one of us who can't up their game, right? Be more present in a relationship, create more intimacy. And I don't just mean the physical, but the emotional intimacy, because would you agree the emotional intimacy is what is at the foundation in most cases to the physical intimacy?
Absolutely. And sometimes the physical intimacy is really there, but it's almost compensating. So it can be a little bit of both, right? So we've experienced relationships where that's very passionate. However, it's kind of not in parallel with your emotional connection, right? So even when I'm working with clients and you know the topic of physical intimacy comes up, when do we do that? When we're first seeing someone, it's like, are they building in parallel? Because if you have only the physical intimacy, or mostly, that's pretty much what the relationship is standing on, right? And if you have only the emotional, well, maybe it's more of a friendship, right? So, but when they're really building side by side, that's when you have like this true connection where you can experience the heart to heart connection, and of course, the physical is a reflection of that as well.
So cool. So cool. I can't wait. I'm really excited.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So for those of you who have not yet registered for the summit, please do so. We are running out of time. It is Saturday, next Saturday, this coming Saturday, January 30th. We're starting at 1 p.m. Central Time. So do the math if you're in the Mountain Pacific or East Coast time. And other great presenters like Diana will be joining us, talking about their zone of wisdom, you know, whether it's on health and mindset and business and finance, whatever the case may be. And so to register, go to the TriplePLife.com/kickoff 2021. So the TriplePLife.com/kickoff 2021 to register, or you can go to the powerpassionprosperity.com website, go to the shop tab, and I think it's the first link on the drop down menu. So and the current price is $97. It's going up this week, so make sure you get on the earliest price, number one. And number two is, if you only can attend Diana's, but yet you want to listen to the other presenters, it will be recorded. You'll get a playback link and you can go back and review it as many times as you want, each of the presenters. And I suggest, listening with your significant other, listening with your team, listening with, your organization, and do a debrief after each presenter. What did you learn? What was the main key that you took away that you can apply to your life? And maybe if it's a business, what can we apply to better serve our customers? There's so much value here that you can, really ramp up every aspect of your life. So Diana, looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. Thanks again for joining me here today, this morning. I know you're busy, and we'll see you Saturday.
We'll see you Saturday.